Welcome to Java. Thank you for joining me. It's December 16th, 2024, and it's Monday. We are starting the last week prior to the holidays in the year of 2024, rapidly winding down for the year, the final trades. So with this, it is Monday, and it is the 16th. So as I was speaking on some of the things yesterday, we are expecting quite a bit of data coming in this week. However, we've got Wednesday is the Fed rate decision. And with that, we expect the volume to kind of build up to that and then really kind of taper off after that. So with this, let's get into what is going on behind the markets. With this, our fear greed meter is the same. It's around 50, right in neutral territory, showing there's still the retailers holding on in this market, still basically gambling. We've got the MMRI in high territory. Now, high risk, but not severe volatility. So nothing majorly concerning, but just keeping an eye on this. Now, with this increase in risk, it's because the relative strength of the dollar, as I've been saying, now is above 107. So above 107, the 10-year yield also still rising at 4.382. Now, with the 10-year yield rising, this is because someone is selling off some of the debt. Now, my speculation on this in looking at what's happening with markets and the flows behind the scenes is that some of this is foreign countries and in particular Japan and China. So watching the currency flows kind of gives us an ear into that. Now with this, the relative strength of the dollar and the 10-year yield are both at resistance levels, meaning they're a bit due for a pullback. Now when these are high, they pressure stocks. So with these pulling back, we should see a bit more of a green open. Right now, we've got the United States stock market this is pretty flat, really. The NASDAQ already showing a bit of green. We've got the volatility index is up. So this is kind of a fear trade. We've got gold is still up also with that as well. This is kind of pulling through from what happened on Friday. Now, oil is dropping, and this is because they came out saying that they're expecting a drop in demand. Now, drop in demand kind of indicates a recession, so not good for the economies, and then also a glut in the supply because it's not going to be used. So, pressure on oil this morning. So, the sentiment right now, if we jump over to this, we've got the Fed rate decision is coming on Wednesday. Bank of England and Bank of Japan making their decisions for rate hikes on Thursday. And the opening right now, as I said, looks positive. If the relative strength of the dollar and the 10-year yield drop, then this is due to that sell-off in debt. But if these drop, then it's going to pump these yields, and the stock markets will have money flow back into them. In other words, stock market goes back up. Now, we've got cryptocurrency went up significantly overnight. Bitcoin briefly hit over 106,000. It's pulled back a bit since then at 104,435. But with this, the rising tide hits all ships. So we're watching cryptocurrencies in general up, also the miners. So this includes Mara, M-A-R-A, and Riot, R-I-O-T, because those are Bitcoin miners. Those both enjoying a bit of positive motion this morning. Now, one of the ones that has invested in their infrastructure and able to mine more lately is Mara. So they're looking a bit stronger than the others. Now, I would like to bring up one thing really quickly, and this is about Jerome Powell. His motivations behind the rate cuts, because they don't always make sense as far as the market is concerned. Now, the market is looking forward to and has already priced in a quarter point rate cut for this Wednesday. And that is what the market is going to get, in my opinion. Now, why do I say this? Because he does not want to rock the boat. His motivation, And his goals are to leave a legacy for himself. And in order to do this, he has to keep these markets afloat and put forth that perceived soft landing. Now, he's still got a bit of time that he's got to cover. So, with this, he's going to manage this market the best that he can in order to achieve these goals. Now, he's not motivated by money. This is his net worth. And this was back in 2019, somewhere between 20 and 55 million. I would posit that it's more than double that. But the point is that he is not motivated by money as much as he is by ego and leaving that legacy. Now, this will guide what happens with that. And I want to be aware of that because the overall rates do affect pretty much everything, not just the stock market, but a lot of the other things in our lives. Okay, so with this, we've got the calendar this morning. Empire State Manufacturing, we're getting PMI. We are also getting some reports early prior to the market open on Tuesday, retail sales, industrial production and capacity. So I put these up here because you need to set up your trades if you're a swing trader, overnight trading, for these events and reports to come out, because options obviously don't have extended trading as of this moment. So with this, let's go into the European Central Bank. Lagarde is saying that the darkest days of high inflation are behind the Eurozone. So this is one of those ones where you screenshot it because she is wrong. Inflation is going to come roaring back. They're going to have to cut. And the only way that the dark days of high inflation would come in is if a severe recession comes in to correct that, because they are not set up for soft landing. Now, this is very possibly the case. We've got Germany looking very weak. And if that demand comes down within the next month or two, prior to the following year coming in and production recovering, with the winter fees on their energy, which is really the big one to watch, then they could very easily slip into a deeper depression, recession than what they're headed into at the moment. So, watching the energy prices, because these are contingent on Germany, whether they can swing into a profit or not. And as I was speaking about yesterday, France just got their rating cut by Moody's, and Italy is trying to restructure their debt. The UK has seen a drop in their spending. Their jobs is down. Their unemployment is up. So with all of these together, could be that a recession might be what she's so happy about. So going back to the United States, this kind of across the board, we've got buy now, pay later, Affirm. Now this lender has now put forward a fresh flow deal with Sixth Street. Somehow, they have talked this company into purchasing all of their short-term loans at high interest rates that are high risk. Now, they are at credit card rates, somewhere in the 20 to 26% of return, but a lot of these short-term loans will go into default. So we'll see what happens with this later. Now I want to talk about cryptocurrency a little bit, since it did have that massive run. We've got part of the drivers behind this new cryptocurrency accounting standards going into effect today. And they're talking about this boosting Bitcoin's corporate adoption. And I think that it does, because the financial accounting standards, their new accounting rules, as they go into effect today, make it easier for businesses to put these on their balance sheets, account for them in their reserves, and as well as looking at their assets. So being much easier to balance their sheets, it's easier for them to justify to the investors what they're looking at when they have to balance their books, so to speak. This really works into their favor. So now this makes it much easier for corporations to put Bitcoin in specific on their balance sheets, not cryptocurrency in general yet, but Bitcoin specifically. Now, with this, we also had Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, and also Palantir are entering the NASDAQ 100. So this is very positive for the company. as well as the fact that he had just purchased another large amount of Bitcoin, put it on the balance sheets, and it has gone up again since. So that has already been a major return on investment for him. He's getting loans at lower percentages, purchasing Bitcoin with them through selling the stock, is how he's acquiring this, and putting more of the asset on the balance sheet. So as long as it's going up, it's brilliant. So there, it looks as if it is hitting the 104 level. So that's got a bit of resistance. If it breaks through that, could go up to the 107, 106 and a half really is what it's looking at. So 106,500 back up to where it kind of peaked. We'll see if it heads back up there before we'll see where it goes. Now, Bitcoin going Santa Claus mode as optimism grows for United States Reserve status. Now, this is also driving it. And it's not just that the United States, since the United States has said this, we have quite a few that are following in the footsteps, talking about making Bitcoin reserve status as well. Now, I know a lot of you don't like Bitcoin, and you won't purchase it, but if you're traders, you might want to look into the mining stocks or the sympathy plays, so to speak. So, with this, I wish you all a green trading day, wonderful day, and until I see you again, my friends, stay free.